Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Liz here, and today we have, it's a different video to what you're probably used to from my channel. This is sort of a video that goes into the thought process that I have when it comes to playing ground forces. You will be seeing probably more videos like this on the channel, more tailored towards lower tiers, medium tiers, but for today we have got a battle for you, or I've got a battle for you, in an AMX40. It's a French top tier 9.7 and we are on a very, very sandy map. So, a little bit of at the start here, I'm just thinking, I've looked at the map and my thought process is, this is a fairly defensive vehicle. I'm going to go into the sand dunes. It's less close quarters, more open, and the terrain provides a lot of advantages for a vehicle like the AMX. Excuse me. So that's what I decided to do. Speeding it up a little bit here, pushing up, pushing up. So my thought here is to get onto this hill and just do a little bit of reconnaissance for the team. As usually what you'll find across in that sort of area over there in the open is you'll often find many tanks tend to enjoy pushing, excuse me, across the open there. I do get shot at here, but I don't pay attention the first time. I do poke back up, and I do try and look for the source of the shot. I can see it there now, but at the time I couldn't. So that alleyway over there, where my binoculars are currently pointed, there's a T-72. And that T-72 is going to be a thorn in my side for the entirety of this game. So, what I've done here is I've communicated the location of that vehicle in chat, as you can see, and I've also notified that my barrel is out. So, matey boy over there in the AMX knows that I'm repairing. And the second I'm done repairing, I push out and I take out this T-80. I thought this was saving his life. He thought so too. He thanks me, and then he gets shot from the left, presumably by the T-72. It's the round that kills him. Now, I don't know at the time if there's a tank on the other side of this dune from me. I don't know if it's in the distance. I'm literally thinking, okay, he just got killed from the flank. Then a round comes over my head, which sort of signifies that there is a vehicle still up there, but I'm still not sure, still not convinced as to whether there is another vehicle around the corner. So I just sit here and wait, and you will find that I'm being very, very sort of patient and very passive in a lot of this battle, choosing my opportunities as wisely as possible. Now that I'm confident that nothing else is sort of around this corner, sort of at my level, not in the distance, I decide in my best interest it is to just push up a little bit and see if I can't get a better shot or better eyes on enemy targets in the distance. So just again, using the terrain here, constantly looking out through the binos just to get some recce on. I do like to get my recce on the move. It's a very important tool, the binoculars. I cannot stress that you use them enough. So, pushing up to the sand dune here, and I can see that there's dust being kicked up from that tank firing. Again, you just saw it move in my binoculars, but there is a T-72 behind that T-80 or T-64. I can't see him at this point, I wasn't paying attention. I do donk the shot into the turret of this T-80. It does take out his gunner though, so he can't return fire, which enables my friend in the AMX 19 hot, or whatever it is, to fire an ATGM and finish him. I do get shot by the T-72, I break contact back down the hill, pop smoke in my vulnerable location, and start the repair. Wait, I don't start the repair, I wait for my crew to come back online. I do try to get a shot here on him, and I do notice that he's looking my direction. I can see his gun there looking at me. So I think probably should poke up in this, because if he does penetrate my turret one more time, that's me gone, dead. So I back up to the cap point and I start to replenish the crew. And a little bit of ammunition as we're here, why not? And the smoke screen too. At this point I'm constantly looking around. I'm looking around to see if there are any people flanking me, any potential targets. And then I push back out when I feel like it's necessary. So, just zooming up here. to the middle of the map because I can see that my team are pushing. A lot of light tanks are pushing up the middle of the map. So I feel like it's in my best interest as a main battle tank at top tier to go and support them. I do this, and I do think there goes one. He gets nailed by a BMP that I can't see immediately, and the BMP does start getting into an engagement with my friend in the AMX40. Trying to push around as quickly as I possibly can, and come into contact with the BMP. He goes side on, so I use the 20mm coax on him. I do fire off a shell from the main gun, but evidently side on BMP, coax with 20mm, you don't really need to be wasting rounds on it. At least not 120mm APFSDS rounds that currently, after 1.87, are the second best penetrating round in the game. Right, I can hear now that there is a vehicle on the other side of this rock, so I'm just pulling back, and I'm going to flank him. Or at least I think I'm flanking him. He ends up coming around the corner straight into my face. But fingers on buzzers, I'm the better clicker. And he just fails. He dies. No ammo rack, just simple crew knockout. Start reversing back. I do take cover behind this rock here very briefly. Again, I'm going to be very passive again. Probably for a little length of time here, I'm going to be a little bit passive. Nothing too crazy passive. Again, I'm trying to lock down this area of the map. I'm trying to make sure that nothing pushes forward. I'm trying to make sure that nothing pushes to alpha. So ideally I'm in a position where I can react to contact in 2 different directions, or 3. My left to Bravo, my front, and to my right, Alpha. Now I've got a friendly AMX10RC pushing up here. I didn't see it at the time, but there is another T64 pushing across the dunes. And that lovely desert camo made it a little bit hard for me to see. That, or I just wasn't looking in the general direction. Now, I do sit here for a little while, just seeing if I can see the fellow, but I can't. He's not pushing up. He's very well hidden. And it's at this point that a friendly AA also pushes forward. And, to my knowledge, so does the AMX10RC. Now, I know that there's a T72, and I've communicated that to the team. They know that there's a T64. But they both decide to push out into the open, which is a fatal mistake. There goes one. And any second now, bang, there goes 2. The AMX10RC is dead. Now I do have the opportunity to get a snapshot off here, and if I had taken my time, I probably would have been able to do a lot more damage than just make his gun breach yellow, and make one of his crew members red. But I just pull back. I can now see that Bravo is being capped, so I move to a slightly better position, only a few centimeters away. This rock formation here provides better cover for the hull of my vehicle, so I decide to utilize that as best I can, just keeping eyes out still. And it's at this point, right about now, that I start to hear the rumbling engine of the T64 pushing up on me. Still just looking around, but I can hear the engine, and he does begin to crest over this ridgeline momentarily. And there it is. Now, I'm not going to push out. A T64 like that, he's, in that kind of position, is more than capable of killing me. Now he's fired though. I'm going to just wait till he gets closer, then I'm going to back up, aim for the turret, manage to get the snapshot off and destroy his barrel. Then I just take my time, aim for the weak spot, dead center, bang. There he goes. Crew knockout. Then I push back up to my position here behind this rock, still unsure as to whether there's anything on the Bravo point that's going to come down to see me. Because let's face it, that would not be pleasant. It's at this point I get a little bit nervous. I do see, you wouldn't have seen it there, but I did see briefly a plane had spawned in. So I do pull back, getting very nervous at that. Probably the T64 I just killed. I do take a shot at him with the main gun and fire off with 20mm. Now, I do burn a lot of time here. This is where a lot of my, I wouldn't say a lot of my time, but I do waste a good few minutes here now because I'm very nervous of that CAS plane just flying around. And evidently it is a plane that winds up sort of contributing quite highly to my death in the upcoming minutes. But still, just keep looking around just to see if there's any more evidence of other main battle tanks popping up. looking to where that T-72's been camping, and it's just, again, just looking around, using the binos, scouting my environment, looking for targets of opportunity. I do get bored eventually and push out, and it's at this point I can see the plane is still flying around. The AA radar guided AA has not killed him, so push out. My intention is to push towards Bravo and get it captured, as we're sort of bleeding tickets quite heavily at this point. And any second now, I am going to get eyes on the T-72 behind that rock. I probably should have waited here a little bit better and got a better shot off if I'd have aimed it, instead of trying to get the snapshot off. But I try to sort of trick him into thinking I'm still here. So I pop one smoke screen, and then I pop my second smoke screen in an attempt just to get around his firing arc. Now, interestingly, what this does, and you'll see it momentarily, is this. What this actually does is this causes a diversion of sorts. He sees this as an opportunity to push up to me and potentially get a flank. Now, unbeknownst to me, I didn't know this was what was happening. I was just trying to get to Bravo as quickly as I could and then deal with that threat, being the T-72, if he came up again. Just still looking around in case there's any vehicles coming from his spawn. This is a very dangerous move. It's very open, but I decided to do it anyways. At this point, I'm technically around the rock that he was, and there he is. He's pushing out into the open. Very, very bad decision for him, and there he goes. Crew knockout again. And I continue to push towards Bravo. Now, this is where I probably waste a considerable amount of time again. I get shot at by a BTR-15, wasting the main gun there. I spam him with a 20mm and cause a considerable amount of damage. But I do sit here, firing off shells, trying to kill this BTR, when realistically, if I would have been pushing up to the cap, I probably would have aided in the capture of Bravo a lot quicker, considering that BTR-15 really has nothing at this particular range it can do to me. I mean, I'm reversing back, but if I'd have carried on driving forward instead, it would have been the better play, as that is simply just an AA gun. I mean, if he gets close, he might be able to do so. Now, I can see that my friendly Spag is capturing the Bravo point, and I'm just looking around, scouting to see if there's anything pushing up, and then right at this second, I do see on the minimap that his guns start opening up and he's shooting at an enemy tank. Here it is on the minimap. Now, I'm trying to get eyes on. I see that there are shells coming from one, like there's dust kicking up there. I think that's the tank, but he is to my left a little bit more. And unfortunately for the friendly Spag, I was a little bit too late in identifying the target and dealing with it. So a little bit more speed on my part probably necessary, but at the same time I was trying to play a cautious game. I wasn't trying to die. I was trying to do my best to support the team in the way that I felt at the time was necessary. And just again looking around, being as cautious as absolutely possible, capturing that Bravo point and doing what I can for the team. Let's continue to cap. I get the capture point, refill my smoke grenades. Now it's at this point where I start getting strafed by a plane, and I inevitably stopped it. I just basically it goes down here for me on the tank side. Everything goes tits up and I die. Try to pop some smoke just to conceal myself while I repair. Probably should have kept moving, otherwise this damage would not have happened. But that is a fault, and we learn on a daily basis. So this game is just about done now, but I thought it would be necessary just to share these things with you, so you can sort of see my thought process here. Just a tiny amount. You can see that I've been communicating with the team, and there's going to be another example of this momentarily in the chat, where I communicate to the team via the helicopter, where because I can visually recon the Bravo point from here. I let them know what tank it is. I let them know he's still on the point, and I let them know that he's moving. So it's at this point of the game now where just starting to slow things down a little bit, and you know, it's at this point, late stage of the game, this is going to turn into a loss simply because of the time. We don't have enough tickets, and we can't bleed enough quick enough. So this was a loss. And could I have done better? Admittedly, yes, I could have been a lot less passive and a lot more aggressive. But then would my result have been the same? Who knows? The idea, though, of watching replays of these games that you have, especially these good games that you have, is beneficial and paramount to gameplay. I feel, personally. Because without looking at this kind of stuff, you would never really understand the improvements you can make to your own playstyle in general. Now, I hope you guys have all enjoyed the video. I hope that you've learned something, and adios. I'll catch you in the next one.